Thank you very much for joining us. Now, COM has returned to the Odododiodio constituency after police arrested and released 3 supporters of the opposition New Patriotic Party in connection with a scuffle that broke out in the constituency Tuesday night. A clash between activists of the NPP and the NDC led to the arrest of the 3 supporters of the NPP. Unhappy about the actions of the police, supporters of the NPP massed up at the Jamestown police station to demand the release of their colleagues. Joy News' Ernest Menu was there and has the rest of the story.
We are here right now at Jamestown. This is the Jamestown police station. You can see hundreds of supporters of the New Patriotic Party massed up here, and they are chanting songs. The message is simple. They're demanding the immediate release of 3 of your members who were arrested just last night, and it follows some confrontation between they and the NDC supporters. As you can see, we are told that they have been released, and then with the police right now, the issue was transferred to the Greater Accra Regional Police Command. They have just been brought in. We spoke to Stanley Adru-Blankson, who assured us just a while ago that the men were going to be released. Indeed, as we see right now, they have just been brought in, and the police will let them go, after which they will address a press conference to tell the media exactly what has been happening.
For no apparent reasons, 3 of our young boys were arrested. I am sure there must have been a fight, and you fight against an enemy. So if the police comes into it, the police must make sure that all those who created mayhem are arrested. But for you to arrest only 3 from one party, that's the NPP, and then you leave the rest, to a point that even the minister of sports, who doubles as the MP for Odododiodio, led people to go around and arrest people. Who gave him the order?
But there were 3 of them. We only saw 2.
One has been hurt. One was injured. And when he comes out from the hospital, we will invite you people and see the extent of pain that he had to.
What are you telling Amidi? Me do much in here, Amidi. Moko be no go be na mbafi. Why Amidi? Biano what she wa yemi. Why yemi like I want taki ame.
Calm has since restored to the constituency. From the Odododiodio constituency, Ernest Kojomenu for Joy News.
And Joy News editor Fifi Kumsin is currently at Odododiodio to bring us the latest on that, and we'll bring you that shortly. Meanwhile, we know that the police is investigating an alleged assault of the NPP parliamentary candidate for the area, Ni Lante Bannerman. I'm joined on the phone line now by the public relations officer of the police in the Greater Accra region, ASP Efia Tenge. Good morning to you, madam. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Great. First of all, from the report we heard from our reporter, calm has been restored to the area. But we do know that Odododiodio is one of the flashpoints the police has identified that you'll be looking at to ensure peace and security there. Moving forward, what is the security situation there? What is the plan there to ensure that you maintain the calm there?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners. Yes. With regards to what happened yesterday, I believe that calm has returned to the area, but actually the way the whole incident was portrayed, that was not how it was. About 2 days ago, the police had information that some disturbances had erupted in the Jamestown, and when the police got there, we realized that the third people had voted. So in the course of our investigation, we were made to pick certain people that we believe could help us understand the whole situation, what really started the whole disturbance. It was during our follow-ups that we got to know that 2 of them had sustained some degrees of injuries, and were admitted at the hospital. Actually, there were 3, but one of them was treated and discharged. So the next day, based on the investigations we've had so far, we had to grant the 3 people who are arrested bail because we realized that they were implicated of assault, and that at any point that police believes that they have to be invited to give us a statement or some clarification, we will do so. There were also reports about the Minister for Youth and Sport, Honorable Nee Lasse van der Hoy, and the police are making efforts to also get him to give us a statement about his alleged involvement. For the security of the area, I can say that yes, we have better security, knowing very well that that place is one of the hotspots of the police, and we are not leaving anything to chance. We are not looking at the political dimension. All that we are interested in is to be able to clamp down on people who want to disturb the peace of the area. It doesn't matter the political faction that you belong to. Once you breach the peace, the police will also take you on. So we are looking at the criminal element, what has happened, where we need to go, what we need to do to bring the peace to the area. So for now, that is what we have done. And we are also gathering several intelligence. We have also indicated that the people who were wielding weapons have also gone into hiding. And we are working very well to get all those people arrested.
All right, we'll end it here. Thank you very much, ASP Efiatinge. She speaks for the police in the Greater Accra region. Let's still stay on election-related issues. And the presidential ballot is now out, and 7 candidates will be on the ballot paper for the December 7 polls. The opposition New Patriotic Party and the ruling NDC have both maintained their 5th and 3rd positions, just as it appears on the parliamentary ballot paper. CPP's Ivor Greenstreet takes the number 1 position, followed by the NDP's Nana Konadu Ajimon Rawlings at the 3rd position. And PPP's Dr. Papakwesi Indum is number 4. Edward Mahama of the PNC is 6th on the ballot, with independent candidate Jacob Osei Yeboah taking the 7th and last slot. Now that we know that the positions, characteristics of the campaign messages to remind the electorate on the voting day when they get to the booth. Songs like Esroho and Asieho are still fresh in our memories as slogans that made the mark for the 2 major political parties in the previous elections. This year, we ask how are the parties interpreting their positions on the ballot paper and how they are couching their slogans as regards their position on the ballot to remind voters. We'll be speaking to a number of them shortly. But first, I have with me in the studio my colleague Malik Abu Dabu to run us through how some of these slogans have impacted the political fortunes of candidates over the years, and if there's a cause to be bothered at all about who is at which position on the 2016 presidential ballot. And Malik is here. Thank you, Malik, for joining us in the studio.
Hey, good to be here.
Great. First of all, I hope you remember Esroho and the Asieho slogans. Were these slogans any relevant at all? Were they relevant?
In political communication, sloganeering plays an effective part of political communication precisely because it galvanizes people. All of us remember it, the B Keke, and you rightly pointed out Asieho, and these things galvanize people. They generate excitement among party followers. Sometimes you find even adherents of the opposing party finding the slogans of the other party so interesting that they sometimes actually mention it and say it. To the extent that it plays a part in galvanizing people, you can't say that these slogans matter. And of course, we know what other religious interpretations that they give to these. We have seen John 3:16 being paraded all over the place. We have seen others saying all great things are spelled in 5. In the case of the MPP, that's what they are claiming. And they mention the Quran, they mention Jesus, they mention all manner of things. The NDC respond and say, well, you also have loose, which is also spelled with 5 words, and that goes for Nanado, who is in 5th position on the ballot paper. But the fundamental point is in political communication, excitement plays a part. The slogans that you adopt and how attractive those slogans are and how your position on the ballot feeds into the slogan that you have adopted play a bigger part. Remember also that they are using these positions to educate voters. We have a largely illiterate voter population, a large number of illiterate voter population. It's important when you are positioned at an advantageous point on the ballot paper. And if you are able to craft a creative message that is in sync with your position on the ballot paper, all the better for you, because your illiterate voters then can understand, they can identify with it, they can associate with it, and they have less problems when they go to the ballot box to cast their vote.
So for you, based on the past experiences you've just shared, you don't see any of the political parties finding it difficult to couch catchy messages to spread to their electorate?
No, not at all, because the NDC says John 3:16, and they're looking at John Rawlings, John Mills, John Mahama. So John. So if he's in third place, he's a third John. And for the NDC, he's a third John. Of course, nationally, we know that Kufuor was a John. But they are looking at NDC. And NDC, you have John Rawlings, John Mills, John Mahama. He's a third John. And once the previous Johns all had 2 terms, they are hoping and praying that the third John will also have
but
a second term.
The other argument is that those who are referring to the Bible are claiming that the third John has 1 chapter. It means that the...
I have seen that as well.
Exactly.
Those who say, well, if you look at third John has 1 chapter in the Bible. That means that John Mahama will have 1 term. And you have the MPP guys saying, well, give me 5 for victory, and they have all kinds of crazy designs which are being shared on social media. These play a big part in this communication precisely because it is targeted at educating their voters to understand the position of the candidates on the ballot paper. That is why when you are going into an election such as this, the various political parties will print dummies of the ballot paper, and they will blank everyone else and leave their candidates standing. So you pick a ballot paper for the NDC, for example, you see the list of all the candidates, all of them are blank, and then that of John Mahama will be upstanding, and there will be a thumbprint on it, and then they will use it to educate voters that if you go to the poll, just pick your ballot paper, it's going to look like this, look for this third person and thumb. For the MPP, they will do a similar thing. They will print a dummy ballot paper, and then they will blank all the others, and then show their candidate, and then show to their voters, who a large number of whom are illiterate, in the hope that when they go, they can easily understand, interpret, read, and appreciate the ballot paper, and then they can vote properly.
Now, Malik, I have an executive of the MPP, Kojo Owusu-Afriye, on the line with us. I'll go to him shortly, but one other interesting thing I find on this ballot for the 2016 election is the positioning of NDP, the wife of the founder of the NDC. Do you see any confusion there? People wanting to, getting confused as to whether they should give it to Nana Konado or they should give it to John Mahama? Oh
no, I don't see that. For a large number of people, before they go to the ballot, they have made up their mind who they are casting their ballot for. They know that. And people may vote for her because they want to vote for her, not because they are confused. Of course, genuinely, because of what I said earlier, the numbers of illiterate voters. Some people, sometimes they pick the ballot paper and they are so nervous because a lot of these people have never come into any public gathering such as you would find at the polling center. So they pick the ballot paper and they are nervous, and sometimes they may vote for a candidate that they have not intended to vote for. Those mistakes will happen, and those mistakes can benefit anyone and then can be to the detriment of anyone. I do not see any voter going to the ballot paper and then being uncertain as to whether they are casting their ballot for John Mahama or Nana Konado Rawlings. That won't happen. There will be NDC people who have a certain loyalty to the Rawlingses and may, when they find her on the ballot box, vote for her. But that will be a decision they would have made before going to the ballot booth. But they will not get there and then be confused as to who to vote for. I don't think that will happen.
Malik, I'll come to you shortly. Let's get the view of Mr. Kojo Owusu-Afriye. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my sister.
Great. The MPP is number 5 on the ballot. Any idea how the party intends to remind voters on the day on how to identify the presidential candidate?
Well, let me start by saying that I agree largely with Malik on the analysis that is so far made. Numbers in themselves are not that significant, except that you need, as a political party, to remind the people who are going to vote for you, the position that you find yourself in. If you are not able to do that, and you start touting John 3:16, when indeed what is there is blasphemous, it does not help the NDC in that respect. And so what you need to do is be able to remind your people of the number and the position that you find yourselves in. Today, as I speak, unfortunately, I have the message on this phone that I've talked to you on. Somebody quoted me Revelation 5:5, and which is very, very significant. If you have the Bible there, you can read it to your esteemed listeners. Revelation chapter 5, verse 5. And so the 5:5, some people see it as really significant. And indeed, I have heard people say that the stone that Goliath, David used to hit Goliath, David took 5 stones, but one stone that was, shot, killed Goliath, and Goliath's sword was used to cut off the head. So Akufo is going to have, a one-touch victory with the 5 number that he had. And it is also interesting. The Bible has 5 letters. Allah has 5 letters. Jesus, 5 letters. And so on and so forth.
Mr. Osafriye, you've just quoted 3 scriptures. You started with Revelation 5:5, then you went to Judges, and the last one you just quoted. So in Revelation 5:5, what is the message there? And how do you intend to capitalize on it to spread your message as regards your number on the ballot?
Can you just give me 1 minute so I could read Revelation 5:5?
Go ahead, sir. So, Malik, whilst we wait for Mr. Owusu-Afriye to... Hold on, sir. Whilst we wait for you to get the Revelation 5:5 to tell us what is there and what the NPP... How the NPP intends to use the message there to capitalize on your position on the ballot, let me just come back to Malik. You heard what he's saying. He's quoting a lot of scriptures.
And I said that to you. If the NPP was placed number 3 on the ballot paper, they would have found a way of projecting it in the terms that they are projecting their number 5, and vice versa. If the NDC was number 5, they would have found a way of projecting it in that manner. Wherever they are placed, they will find a certain religious significance for that position on the ballot, because we saw it in 2008, in fact 2000, we saw it 2008, 2012, we saw it 2012. I think John Mama was number 1 on the ballot paper, and we had songs or a number 1 and all of that. In fact, he himself, when he was going to vote, he wore a Lacoste shirt with number 1 on it. People criticized that, but he just took advantage of his position on the ballot paper. So wherever their place is, they will always find an explanation for it, and this is not surprising.
Malik, I have on the line with me a member of the NDC's communication team, Fred Agbenyo, who joins us live on the line now. After him, we'll go back to Sir John. Mr. Agbenyo, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my sister.
How is the NDC interpreting your number on the ballot, number 3?
Well, I was listening to my senior brother, Sir John. It appears that Sir John has lost touch with his Bible scriptures he learned at the Sunday school, because there's no way you can describe Nanado as a David. If you look at the attributes of David and the attributes of Goliath, there is no way Nanado can be a David, a comparative of a David in the Bible. Nanado is a senior Goliath. The 8 is a Goliath for the fact that has fought a number of wars. So if he says that Nanado is a David, then clearly he doesn't understand the scripture.
Mr. Agbenyo, it's all right to disagree with the position, how the NPP decides to interpret their number on the ballot. I'm asking of how the NDC looks at number 3 and how you intend to capitalize on it to get the supporters to give you the vote.
I understood your question very well. So let's say proper and point out that doesn't understand the scripture. I did say we are grateful to God. God works with signs and wonders. That throughout the work of Jesus Christ, the said that I live under the sun. Almost every night there were signs and wonders. He has demonstrated one again, that is his son, the Mahama. He came, worked, they crucified him, they buried him. On the third day, he rose in triumph. So 3 is significant. If you look at the scriptures, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they are embodiment of one entity. So John Dramani Mahama today as we speak is the Father, is the Holy Spirit, is the Son, who died, was buried, rose up on the third day in triumph. That is the symbol. That is why the world, God is telling the world that this my chosen Son, the Son I've chosen to come and die, is been vilified, is been crucified. They've done all manner of things to him. They've buried him. But on the third day, another significant thing about the third is the fact that if you look at NDC, the first flag bearer of NDC was a John. The second flag bearer of NDC was a John. John Dramani Mahama is the third John. Again, is the third person on the ballot. And the elections will be taking place in 2016. So clearly it gives you the scripture in the Bible, John 3:16. Third John, John Mahama is third John, and the election will be in 2016. So this is clear that God is not choosing him. God has given him the flag of victory, and is going to this election and is going to win hands down without any contest.
But, Mr. Agbanyo, there are those who say that the 3rd John chapter has just one, and so it means that just one term for the president.
John, I think that went well.
3rd John, there are those who say it has one chapter, and so John Mahama has one term. How do you respond to that?
Oh, there's no way you can say that John has only one chapter, so Mahama is going to have only one. I didn't quite get that question. If you go into the scripture is only one. But the speaker could also only one thing and news only one thing. So I don't know the answer of that question.
Thank you very much. Fred Agbanyo is with the communications team of the NDC. I still have on the line with me John Kojo Owusu Afriye. And Mr. Afriye, you were telling us earlier about Revelation 5:5. But before you do that, give us a quick reaction to what Fred Agbanyo said. He said that you are misinterpreting the scriptures.
Oh, no, not at all. And that is why, when he has averted his mind to that great battle that ensued between the Israelites headed by David and Goliath. And when David told Goliath that come to me with the sword and the spear and everything, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts. And that we had always maintained that the battle had always been the Lord, and it continues to be the Lord. Because everybody believes that it is God, who makes, and that God had told David, I will deliver this Philistine into your hand. And with 5 stones that he picked, one hit the head, the forehead of Goliath, and his head was slain by the very sword that Goliath had. And that is exactly what we have.
So, Mr. Afriye, you quoted the Revelation 5:5. Sorry to abut in.
And Revelation 5:5 is very interesting. If you look at the John Revelator, when he says, verse 4, and I wept much, because there was no man found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. At the 5th, which is significant. And then he says, and one of the elders said unto me, weep not, Ghanaians. Let me put it that way. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And so, Nana Akufo-Addo, having picked the number 5, is now being empowered to open the book and to assure Ghanaians that our cry, our weeping, the nation of this is going to end, and that we are going to break loose the 7 seals, the challenges that Ghanaians have gone through, the school fees that we cannot pay, and the hospitals, that are not accepting our national health insurance cards, and so on and so forth. So the seals are going to be broken because of, Revelation 5:5, and that God had, anointed his son, the root of David, and David who was, out there. And so it is important that the MPP should be thankful to God for giving us the number 5.
Mr. Afriye, let's wrap up this conversation. How would you say a slogan like Aseho in time past affected the electoral fortunes of the NPP?
Well, I think naturally it depends on the number of persons who are contesting for the presidency, and it is not at all times that you have a slogan that catches. Like if you are number 3, and so then you are happy that 3 means what? Because somebody will tell you that the 3 shall be 1, and therefore 1 is more significant than the 3, and so on and so forth. But the 5 is unique in the sense that it was the 5 stones that David took that hit Goliath and killed Goliath, and we are going to slay the giant. Then they come to us with money, they come to us with all sorts of things. But I can tell you, with only the 5 stones that we have, 1 who slain the giant, the Goliath.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sir Kojo Owusu Efriye. He is a member of the NPP campaign team there, giving us his interpretation of the scriptures. Now, Malik, you've heard him. Any final words, especially on what he just said, and any other thing?
Well, I mean, all of these religious connotations they are given to their position won't amount to much. I think the amount of work that they have done on the ground, the mood of the country, the feeling of the people, those are the things that would determine who gets the vote, not all of these religious connotations given to their position on a ballot paper. And I think they recognize that publicly when they are talking to the media, they will play all these gymnastics and they will say all of these things. They know that those are not the things that will win.
Thank you very much. Malik Abudabu is editor at myjoyonline.com and deputy head of our political desk here at Joy News. You're still here on News Desk on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Beatrice. Stay with us. We'll bring you more. And you're still watching News Desk on Joy News on Multi TV. Now, when you visit Ghana's market, you will come across Nigerians, Malians, and people from different parts of the African continent engaged in the retail business together. But all may not be well, as the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is raising concerns on the influx of foreigners in the market space of locals. President of the association, Nana Berima Oforiameyaw, made the concern when the presidential candidate of the NPP called on members of the association at their secretariat.
The NPP presidential candidate first visited a Civil and Local Government Staff Association secretariat, where he had interactions with CLOSAC members on how the NPP manifesto could be realized. Some party bigwigs present at the event were the incumbent MP for the Blekuma West constituency, Esla Owusu, former Information Minister Stephen Asamoah Boateng, and Alan Chamantin. Nana Akufo-Addo bemoaned the high level of corruption in the civil service. He was also worried about the over-politicization of the sector, emphasizing that promotions must be based on merit.
That a Ghanaian public service, a Ghanaian civil and public service, that is operating in a multi-party democratic environment, is required to be a neutral, apolitical, not in terms of individuals not having their political associations and feelings. That's not possible. You roll that. But as a body, as an institution, to be apolitical, to be neutral, professional, available to whoever wins political power through the ballot box to be able to put their programs into action. Therefore, it means that promotions, advancement in the public service, in the civil service, ought to be a function of merit, of efficiency, of ability, and not of political allegiance.
His second stop was at the Secretariat of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. President of the association, Nana Berima Oforiameyaw, decried the influx of foreigners in the retail space of Ghana.
The influx of foreigners into the retail sector of the economy. Before I go about explaining Nana and your entourage, let me say that the Ghanaian businessman has been relegated to the background. We have been third-class citizens in terms of our business operations in this country, and that must not be allowed. We are not going to entertain that. We are saying this because we have fought on this issue on numerous occasions with government upon government, but it seems that there is not a light at the end of the tunnel, which of course must be looked at. Guta and for that matter, the private sector is not against foreign direct investment, not at all. But we expect investment that will yield good results for Ghana and for Ghanaians.
On his part, Nana Akufo-Addo says his party will roll out policies that would ensure the rapid development of the private sector.